employee role, I'll be using manager and then accounts payable clerk or controller for my demo account. So three roles for this procure to pay. I'll start with entering my request using the requisition, and then there would be approval workflow that would be approved by my manager, and then that requisition will be converted to an order, right? Once there will be a PO already. I can review as a manager, and then once it has been forwarded to your supplier, you can review and receive the item. So once it's received, it is the accounting department's responsibility to create the bill in order to post the accounts payable, right? And then because this is a payable, you can also do amortization schedule, review the bill, you can process the payment, or you can do cash or send check. For demo purposes, let's streamline this one, right? We can start from requisition, order, receive the item, bill, and then accept payment. Okay, so let me do now my live demonstration for the procure to pay. So as I mentioned, I'll be logging as an employee. So let me go and check here. So let me close other tabs, right? Right. Okay. I will log in now as an employee using the employee center role. So on my right side roles, I have here different roles, and I'll go to my employee center role, right? So employee center role is very limited, right? As you can see on my dashboard, it relates, of course, to my profile. I have my time tracking. I have my activities here. I can see here also my commissions, right? I can also do purchases and expense report and tasks. So those are for expense. Those are for employee center role. For this demo, what I'll do is to enter a requisition. So I'll click now the enter requisition because my scenario, I am the employee. I am Turgant Osben, right? I'm employee of the Guild company and I need an iPad, right? So as you can see on the enter requisition, the approval status starts with pending, right? Because I activated the workflow here. So what I'll do is I will not do an expense, but I'll do an item requisition. I want an iPad because I'm going to use that as a sales and input there the orders of my customers. Immediately, it will be pre-populated. As you notice, there is a default vendor already for that certain item. So you can see that when you set up the item record, all the details has been set up, including the pricing, right, rate. Because I am from sales department, I am tagged also for this department. I can do slice and dicing. My manager can do a slice and dicing based on department, class, and location. I can also, the company also, the senior manager, the senior executive can also do that one because I inputted here my department. Okay? And there are other things here that can be done that relates to advanced procurement, right? As you can see from here, there are linked to other POs, right? There's also statistical procedure, intercompany distribution, and other journal entry and project code because you can also link that to your project. So for demo purposes, let's make it simple for now. I would want to have an iPad. I want to request an iPad because I will use that iPad for my work as a sales rep. So I'm creating a requisition using my role as an employee center. And then I can see that the status is pending approval. When you do a demonstration, do not forget to list down the requisition number. So again and again, as what I've said, demo accounts has a lot of data. If you're not so familiar, you get lost during the demonstration. It's so hard to make use of the global search. So the next thing that I will do now is for demo purposes, I'll let the purchasing and inventory manager do the approval. Okay? So as a purchasing and inventory manager, I have different view of my dashboard again, right? Every time we do a demonstration, we need to explain the dashboard of that role because we want to emphasize that you as a user of NetSuite, you are empowered to customize, personalize your own dashboard that relates to your role, that's needed to your role, right? So as a purchasing inventory manager, Okay, my key performance indicator, my KPI, is relates to the inventory, relates to the purchases, relates to those value open purchase orders. And I have different navigation portals. I have weekly order trends on my right side. I have also my KPI meters here. So I'll go to the requisitions to approve, which is my productivity tool in order for me to see what are the requisitions that I need to approve. So remember the document number that we created earlier was 50, and then that's the amount. So I can easily type in that on the global search 50, but take note, sometimes there would be a lot of information that tags to 50. So but as long as you know already the the transaction, you can add requisition 50 so that it would filter to this only, to this requisition. So let me go back to my dashboard again. I'll just go to my reminders, and then I'll click edit here so that I can easily change the approval status to approve. So remember, because you are pre-sales, you are also concerned of your click path, right? Your click path, you need to monitor your click path. I don't want you to do a demonstration and look for here, 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 and then you will be confused. So you need to lessen your click path. The lesser you click, right, and then you arrive at the right window, your prospect would, have a understanding, right? No long shot, as long as, in case they need to know that one, that's the time they show it to them. But as much as possible, lessen the click path so that it will not be confusing, right? So as long as we go along also, right, we can, as we go along also with this one, you would learn also um, tricks, right? Tips and tricks also to just make use of the shortcuts in order for you to arrive immediately to the requisition, right? So there are a lot of things actually as we go along also. This is just a first level. We have different, way of learning the system during the training portal. You can also remove some of these tabs, right? You can customize this form so that you would only make it visible those important fields, right? The objective again is you don't want to confuse your prospect. At the end of the day, they don't need that anyway, right? You need to lay down everything during implementation, but you are still on the pre-sale stage. Yes, you can make use of the search column above. Okay, so for this one, I will now approve, right, and then save, right? If there are cases also you want to remove these sticky notes, you can also remove that sticky notes on the bundle. Remove the bundle if you don't need it, right? But that's nice to have. You can have it, right? But if you feel that it won't add something value, remove it, right? So it's your demo account, right? I expect you to have a very polished demo account, okay? So in this case, it has been approved already, and we can now convert the requisition to a purchase order. So I can see here the button create purchase order. So on the purchase order, there's order requisition. We can also do bulk here, but for this demo, we only created one. So just click that one, right? Nothing to add. So this is part of the advanced procurement, the purchase contract. It will be linked there. So for this one, we will only create one purchase order. As you notice, there is a processing purchase order because this is designed more or less, right, in a bulk way. So you have to click refresh. So when you do a demo, it would take some time. As you notice, if I click refresh, so you need to talk about purchasing scenario until it will show up here that it has been successfully created, right? So once successfully created, I'll click now the number, right? I click the number 13531. So it would bring me to the purchase order that I created. So the status has been approved by your supervisor, but it is pending receipt. You have not yet received it, right? So once you've already got the iPad from Apple, right? It's time for you to do the receiving of the item. So there are different workflows. There are related transactions also wherein you can see where it came from. This transaction comes from a requisition 50. You can see that one. So that's part of it. So now I am on the item receipt. On the item receipt, we have here landed cost if it has been activated. Inventory data, as I mentioned, lot number, serialized number. Okay, and then so because we're not having to activate those landed costs, I will now save this one and then we'll put this in this location. And then again, we have different form, right? You can change that form and make it a default form when you create now the item receipt. That default form will be the first thing that will be populated. So I've added that one. So let's check in here, right? The GL impact, it has a GL impact. And then I'll go back to item receipt and it's time for me to bill. So there's also created from purchase order 13531 and it's time for me to bill. Let's go and use the controller role. I've been using the controller role, right? So I think I used this already for the lead to cash, right? So I will not explain the dashboard this time around. So I will dive into the purchase orders to bill, right, on my reminders. So before I do that, let me stop this first. So let's go to the setup. And the setup, you can add. I don't have any reminders here. Maybe. So I'll just type. I clicked the wrong one. Okay, I'll just go back to the dashboard again. Okay. So purchase orders to bill. I'll click that one. Okay. So normally, right? Normally the latest transaction that you created would be the on the first line, right? If you forgot the PO number, right? If you forgot the PO number, you can type in here. So normally it's the first line, the latest that you created. Anyway, you own that demo account, you know already if you've transacted or not for that day or the following day. So in this case, it was 13529 Apple. Okay. I no. I think I what was the purchase order to bill? So I'll just go to Apple. I think this is the easier one. I made the mark earlier. And 539. So this is the one. Okay. Anyway, I need to go back because I didn't input the purchase order number. So that's the reason. It's 13531. I think I saw that. Okay, let's go to the controller and then purchase order to bill. And then I'll go to the Apple so that or I can type in here the 13531. Oh, it's here. And then I can click now the date. If you notice, it's under the subsidiary, the US one. You can also do the consolidation part. So part for me, I will build this one in order for me to post the AP. So once posted, let's check on my emails. So on my emails, I had invoice earlier, notification, and then it should have also notification to other transactions that we created earlier. So it defaulted to the terms of 2% net 30 because of you've already configured that under the vendor. And then there's also default on accounts payable. This is defaulted on accounting preferences also. And then I am using the primary vendor bill here. So you have here the electronics, tablet, iPad, one quantity, and then you can scroll down, and you can remove some of these bills not needed during demonstration. So we can also do that one, meaning you have a different custom form that because what we've created is this one for this demo account. And then nothing to add, right? You can also add reference, right? Coming from the reference of your internal or external. So depending on when you receive also the SO coming from your supplier, you can also add here the reference number. Okay. So once added, so I won't change the role already. I will make payment using this role. So I went to the GL impact, and then it has now an impact to my accounts payable. So this has been set up based on the item and accounting preferences. So go back to return, and then I will now make payment. So under make payment, right, you can see there also the cash account where you wanted to get the payment of 430, right? You can also add a discount taken of the 10% or percent, I guess, for the net 30. And then there's also different custom form that you can do it here. And then in this case, you can also make pay and for everything. But for demo purposes, let's just save one in bill that you created earlier. So I've saved already this one, and let's go again to your GL impact because we wanted to show to your prospect that it is real time, which is your value proposition. And then if I go to the accounts payable GL account, it goes to the register of that accounts payable. So going back here on my dashboard, that ends my Procure to Pay. Okay? So the next um, scenario is the financials and one world. Okay, let me go here and go to the discovery for financials. So again, know the core requirements, right? We need to understand how the prospect earn revenue. So we need to follow the revenue and setting up, right? Are they doing service income, sales income, so whatsoever. Confirmation of accrual accounting. Of course, that's it. You're using accrual accounting. We're not using cash-based accounting. Confirmation that the prospect does not